All right, Eternals and Rotten Tomatoes. Here's my stance on it. If you're excited for it, go see it anyways. If you weren't excited for it and you don't want to see it and you see the Rotten Tomatoes score, I guess that's confirmation for you. Whatever you want, do your own thing. Please shut the fuck up on Twitter. I'm tired of seeing this. Thank you very much. I saw Eternals yesterday. Let's talk about it. What an interesting movie. What a fucking interesting movie. So even though I just, quickly went over the Eternals and Rotten Tomatoes thing, at the end of the day, it is rather surprising that after 20 plus movies with the MCU, this is the first rotten MCU movie, at least as I'm recording now. I don't think that'll change, at least from what the percentage is. This is so stupid. Still, I get it. It is surprising. And do I understand why a lot of people did not really like this that much? I do. Now, once again, I still think Eternal skews positively, especially if you're looking at like Letterboxd and shit like that. But regardless, I understand why some people are like, oh my god, no, and they give it a rotten. For me, I liked it. I liked Eternals. At the same time, I fully understand why some people did not. But for me, I liked it, albeit with some problems. But it's pretty good. I don't know. It is 2 hours and like 37 minutes long. And while I don't feel like the length necessarily in terms of, oh my god, like where is this going? Can this please end? You're definitely aware that it's a long movie. This is one of those classic things where you don't know if this movie should have been an hour longer or 45 minutes shorter. I think it's fine. I think the runtime is fine. Here's the biggest complaint with Eternals. It's bloated, right? And it is bloated. At the same time, it is kind of hard for me to criticize that much because what is the task at hand here? You're introducing so many new characters in one movie. And this is not like the Avengers things where we already had that time spent with them. It's tough. That's a tough task. We've seen other studios try to do stuff like that and it doesn't really work. Here, it definitely hits and misses. I'll be honest, this is the first time in a long time that to me Marvel is genuinely taking a risk and just saying, fuck it. Like we're going for it. We are going to be unapologetically dense. This is going to be so comic book heavy. We don't care. We're not going to dumb it down. We're fucking going for it. And I kind of respect that, even if it doesn't work all the time. This is going to be a weird movie to compare, but it's something that popped into my mind after it was done, after the screening was done. It Chapter 2. Now, Eternals is better than It Chapter 2, okay? But for me, I saw why people did not like It Chapter 2. I definitely saw it. But I kind of liked how they really just went for it. How crazy it was. How almost, it was messy and there was a lot of storylines going back and forth in time. It Chapter 2 kind of reminded me of Eternals. And maybe that'll give you somewhat of a hint if you'll like this more or not. I liked It Chapter 2 to a varying degree. And I like Eternals. I know a lot has been said about the cinematography of Eternals because that like gray scene on the beach. And I don't know, the cinematography is like pretty good. It's pretty good. Man, I'm just going to get called a Marvel shill. Cinematography is something that never really stands out to me in Marvel movies. And, you can definitely see why. Here, Chloe Zhao, she kind of brings something. There's a lot of sunsets, all right? There's a lot of sunsets. There's some actual depth to some of the shots here. You like sunsets. Eternals is the one. I've seen some people say this is a bit slower paced. If Eternals is slow paced, we are so fucked as a society for movies, okay? Eternals is not slow paced, okay? It's just not fucking moving like this, okay? Like, it is not that slow. Dune is slower paced than Eternals, okay? And I didn't find Dune slow at all. And honestly, those more slowed down moments in Eternals were some of the best moments. Bing, bang, boom. Okay, let's fucking go. Let's slow it down a little bit. Because what are the Eternals right now? They're basically a family. A family with some fucked up in them. Like most families. And that's pretty cool. That's cool. That's easy to resonate with, okay? The fight scenes are pretty cool. I think it's pretty unique. Obviously, there's a lot of shit going on. It almost feels Avengers-like in terms of everyone is just fucking using their powers against each other. And against other beings. And it's staged well. The opening scene, you kind of learn about their powers. I kind of dig it. Cast is great. Okay. There's not one person on here where I'm like, I don't want to see that person on screen. I don't like your fucking face. There's no one that I think about that too. Kumail Nanjiani, okay, beefed up. He's great. Richard Madden, one of the most beautiful men on the planet, looks good. Gemma Chan, fucking bae right there. I mean, everyone. I'm not gonna go through the whole cast because that's a lot of people, but genuinely, everyone is good. I don't have a problem with anyone. I like all of them in terms of just actors in general. I like it. Very good. When people say, oh man, this is taking the Marvel to a place where it's never been before, I just roll my eyes because I'm like, oh my gosh, how many times have we fucking heard that? This one though, kind of agree. I was actually surprised at how much information was thrown at you and how deep they were going. This is crazy. The words that they were saying, I was like, holy shit. I like used to know a little bit about these like heroes in comic books, like a little bit. Now, I fucking don't know anything. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who they're talking to. I don't know what these words they're saying. There is so much plot points and information that this movie has to go through. And that's when you can feel it kind of struggle a little bit when it has to tie back to like the MCU and providing all this information. Because like I said, introducing new fucking characters, you can't go in with the expectation that people already know shit. You got to explain it to them. And while there's a lot of exposition, at the same time, it honestly, it doesn't really hold your hand with it. It kind of just throws it at you and it's like, yo, motherfucker, like, I hope you understand, bitch. It's been a while since I've been out of school. I think I got it though. I am very interested in what like the hardcore MCU fans are going to think about this. I consider myself a Marvel fan. I look at comic book movies with the same amount of respect as other movies, okay? But obviously, I care about a lot of other movies. I'm very interested to see what the people who mainly go out to see these types of movies, which there's nothing wrong with that, I'm very interested to see what they think about it. For the first time, and I genuinely mean this now, this is an MCU movie that doesn't exactly stick to the formula. That's nice. Is there a large CGI fight in the third act? Kinda. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say it is more layered than good guy, bad guy, CGI fight, where you're like, holy fuck, there's so much going on. It's a little bit different than that, and I want to talk about it. I'm not going to spoil anything. It is not exactly that. It is actually refreshingly different in terms of how it ends and concludes. I fuck with that. Thank you, MCU. I hope the fucking Rotten Tomatoes scores does not deter you from moving away from that every now and again. The score, my mind is all over the place right now. It is still early in the morning, and I still don't know exactly what I think about this. So, because I'm seeing it again tomorrow with my friends, with more of them. So I'll have to see how it changes. The score, though, fire. Okay? Same composer from Game of Thrones. The score kind of bangs. With a large cast like that, a lot of people, some, obviously don't get the development that others are. And I'm not want to complain about that much because, like, of course, do you expect every single fucking character to have some fleshed out full story? No. Who does it focus on? Richard Madden and Gemma Chan. A little bit of Salma Hayek. Mainly those two, though. And I think there's a lot there. I mean, Icarus, Richard Madden's character, has some layers to him. Let me just say, I really didn't really expect that because just in the trailers alone, I was like, okay, so this guy's basically like fucking Superman. He can just fly. He's super strong. He's laser eyes. He's damn near probably invincible. No. Got some emotion to him. Has a nice little arc in whatever direction it goes. I'm not going to say shit. It was nice. And Gemma Chan is a good heart to the movie as well. And yeah, the post-credit scenes, if you haven't seen or heard the leak, which I feel like most people have, I'm a little interested. I'm interested. It's I don't know where they're gonna go. I genuinely don't know where Marvel is going with this, and that's kind of cool to think about. So I've been rambling for a while now. I don't even know what I'm fucking saying. Like I said, I'm so out of it right now. It's been a long fucking week. And here's the last point I'll make about Eternals before I kind of give my rating here and wrap up the video. I don't think it's a spoiler to say this movie kind of takes on like humanity and like being a god, basically, because they've been here forever, basically. And I like when heroes are faced with a certain dilemma like that, right? Like, let me just make up a random example. even though doesn't really have to do with the movie exactly, like if you're a hero and a villain is on the other side and he's like, I'm going to kill the one person you love the most, or if you choose to save her, I will kill 100 random people, right? Like that's a very simplified dilemma, but I like that complex within heroes, because most of the time heroes are human, or at least they have feelings and a moral compass like humans do. I like when shit is like that. This one takes it a little bit further because they are literal gods, and they kind of talk about, can they help humanity? Should they help humanity? Is humanity worth it? I think that's pretty interesting. And that once again ties into why Eternals is good and why Eternals is pretty flawed. Like I said, interesting. I respect the movie saying, no balls, dude. I'm just going for it. I respect that. Overall, Eternals, yeah, it's flawed. Yeah, it's really bloated. A lot of exposition. It's long. I still kind of had a good time with it. So Eternals for me, 3.5 stars for now. I'm seeing it again tomorrow, like I said. So that might go up, or to be honest, it might go down. I could see it either way. If you follow me on Letterboxd or Twitter, you'll find out. And now we wait for Spider-Man No Way Home. Tobey Maguire's in that, right?